Here. What's today? Wednesday?
Yep.
Wednesday. There's always this delay on Instagram.
I'm pretty sure it's a long delay as well.
What'd you say?
I'm pretty sure it's a pretty long delay.
It actually is. There's I'm not sure how long it is exactly, but yeah, it's probably 5 to 7 seconds, maybe
Yeah,
something like that.
that sounds
Hey
fun.
everybody, how we doing? Good to see you on this beautiful Wednesday. We're getting some rain out here. I'm pretty fired up about it. Drop your college recruiting. That's not English. College recruiting questions down below. We're going to get to as many of them as we possibly can, as we always do. Cade, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Happy hump day.
Happy hump day. Woo woo! I miss those commercials.
Yeah,
Those
me
are better
too.
than any of the commercials in the Super Bowl. Literally, it's better than all of them. They just need to take a page out of those. Hey, guys. Hey, how's it going, Eric? Good to see you. Hint of feisty. I love that. Morning or afternoon? Yeah, morning for me, afternoon for Cade.
Yep.
Rob, how you doing, sir? It's good to see you. Hello, hello. Drop your college recruiting questions down below. We're going to get to as many of them as we possibly can, as we always do. Social media workshop last night was a banger. For those of you that were there, it was a banger. It was awesome. Went for about 2.5 hours, kid. I do not hold back. So yeah, it was about 2.5 hours. It was awesome. Had a blast. Drop your college recruiting questions down below. Gonna get to as many of them as we possibly can. Yeah, social media workshop was awesome. It was really great.
I believe when I tuned in yesterday, you mentioned the kind of the timeline that you wanted to stick to there.
Yeah.
That didn't stick.
It was better.
Was it?
Yeah, I taught for about 70 minutes. So
Okay.
it was an hour and 10 minutes. I was shooting for 45 to 60.
Yeah.
There's too much good stuff to share. That's the
Yeah, for
reality
sure.
of it.
Yeah.
Too much good stuff to share. But then we did Q&A. So the Q&A lasted an hour and 20 minutes?
Nice.
I don't get off until everybody's questions are answered. So I just stay until people tell me that I can go. I just let them hold me hostage. So that's what happened. When are you going to do the next social media class? Probably not for a bit. It's going to be a few months. We're going to cycle these workshops in and out, different topics and stuff. So do you think getting looks from a D1 college coach is better than playing high school varsity or on AAU? So I guess they're saying, are you going to get more looks from a D1 school in high school or playing AAU? Probably AAU.
Mhm.
Probably AAU. Unless your high school team is thebomb.com and is one of the top teams in the country type of thing, AAU is probably going to deliver more for you there. Yeah, for sure. Which is the case for most sports, by the way. Most sports that have club or travel, you're going to have, that's going to be more important. You think about soccer, MLS Next, ECNL, GA, all much more important than high school. Much more important than high school. So, yeah, club is almost always going to be better. Football would be an exception because football doesn't really have club. I think they have 7-on-7, but that's the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say for sure club is almost always going to be better. Almost always going to be better. Come on. Nobody's got questions today? We're just going to turn the stream off if we don't have any questions. Not that that's a threat or anything. But that's the reality. We're here for you guys. Do you think going to a lower RPI rather than a solid mid-major would hamper development as far as closing doors on potentially going pro down the road? I will tell you that historically, so take it from somebody who played 7 years of professional sports. I have many friends who are professional athletes in a number of different sports. And so I will tell you that I encountered players at every level, players in pro ball from every level, D1, D2, D3, NAIA, and junior college. Okay. Now, for sure, the better the school is, the better competition you're playing against, which means if you play well against better competition, that's a better thing, you know? So like when I went to Mississippi State, I think me getting drafted out of Mississippi State was a lot easier than me getting drafted out of the other schools that I played at, right?
Absolutely.
Also, though, I'll give you an example. I played with a kid who was actually a first-round draft pick out of high school. Okay, this is a crazy story. Kid was a first-round draft pick out of high school. He was throwing like 97 miles an hour out of high school. Okay, it was ridiculous. Drafted in like the 10th round. No, sorry, 10th overall pick. My bad. 10th overall pick. Was given a bunch of money by the team, but the team saw something in his physical that they didn't like. So they cut his money in half. And so he decided, screw you, never mind. I'm going to college. So he went to a D1 school, strong baseball school, D1. And he was like 89 to 90. He was like, oh, and he wasn't doing well. It was bad all the way around. And so instead of being at a D1 for like 3 years and then getting drafted, he bounced to a junior college and then got his velo back up at the JC, and then he got drafted 18th overall. He's a two-time first rounder.
Nice.
18th overall, and then went to go play pro. That guy is a junior college kid. Like, he got drafted out of a junior college. By the way, if your kid played baseball, you would know the name. I went to school with him. Like, you would know the name. He's been around in the big leagues for a while. And so my point is, doesn't matter as much, but matters. What were you going to say?
I said that's really cool. I actually have a buddy who kind of just went through the same scenario where he went to a D1 on the East Coast. He didn't get much playing time. He went to a junior college, lit it up, and was just drafted like late, but he was just drafted. So that's really cool.
Yeah, legit. And so, like, I would say if you're going to play at the mid-major and you're going to get all the opportunities, then yeah, that would be better. But if that's not going to be the case, then you can get drafted out of anywhere. I mean, I promise. I've played with a lot of really strong players who did not play D1. I mean, I played 7 years in professional sports. I was at a JUCO for a year, and so I care more about you having the opportunity or your kid having the opportunity to show what they're capable of, because then you can get drafted out of anywhere. You can't do that if you're not on the field. Took a gap year after graduating high school last year. Tore my ACL and meniscus. Sorry about that. Just got cleared. Would you recommend going to a showcase? 19 years old in basketball. Not necessarily just a showcase, but you got to go somewhere where they can see you play. Yeah. They're going to need to see you play, especially with a gap year, especially with an injury. They're going to need to see you play. So you got to go to an event somewhere. Yeah, you got to go to an event somewhere. It doesn't have to be like one specific showcase. It's time to hit the ground running now that you're not hurt anymore. A lot of outreach. But yeah, you're going to have to go to events. Guys, we talk a lot about showcases and camps, how you can waste a ton of money going to them, those types of things. Like, we talk about this a lot.
All the time.
That said, like, you have to go to some. They have to watch you play in person. Yeah. If they can't evaluate you in person, they're almost certainly not going to give you an offer. Kate, have we had kids get offers without getting seen in person?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not common.
Correct.
Right? It's not common. Does it happen? Yes. They're going to need to see you play in person. The whole point is not that we say showcases and camps are evil, you shouldn't go. The point is, I just want you to have a plan behind why you're going. Otherwise, you are going to waste money. You are. But it's worth it if you have a plan behind that. So Son has been talking to a few D1 coaches with good interests. Soccer, his top choice of those, is the only major Big Ten. What is suggested to maybe move this toward an offer? So, Kate, I'll read that again. You share your thoughts, and then I'll share mine. So, Kid's been talking to a few D1 coaches with good interest. Soccer, his top choice of those is the only major one, which is a Big Ten school. What is suggested to move that specific school toward an offer?
It's a good question. I would say to keep that progressing was keep them updated with video, keep showing that you are a D1 player. Another thing is contact some schools that are in and around them. For example, you said the Big Ten, maybe reach out to some schools that are also in the Big Ten, because they're also going to be competing against each other. They're all recruiting the same guys. I'm a big basketball junkie. I see Duke, UNC, NC State. They're all recruiting kind of the same guys because they're good. And so if you get interest from that one Big Ten school, and then you reach out to another Big Ten school and another one, and they all three like you, it's kind of a bidding war after that.
Yep. So what Kate just mentioned is critical. So Kate is saying, go get interest or try to get interest from other schools that are in their conference. And then once you do that, tell the school that you love about those schools, and you're more likely to get an offer. I think of John S. I'm not going to say the last name, but John S. This is exactly what happened. His daughter had a school that she was very interested in, couldn't get the time of day from anything. Email, social media, coach connections, showcases and camps, doesn't matter what they did, couldn't get on this school's radar. So instead, what we did is we contacted all the other schools in that division, and she ended up getting 3 offers from other schools in that division. And then you know what we did? We went to her favorite school and said, hey, I got 3 offers from other schools in your division. You can either give me an offer or you can play against me in 2 years. Yeah. Now, that's not what we said, but that would be so savage. Could you imagine saying something like that, Kate? That would be so savage. We didn't say it like that, but that's kind of what we were saying, right? And then that school was like, no, wait, and then came along and gave her an offer going to her dream school, right? So that's really big what Kate said. The other thing I'll tell you is that if you don't have an offer from that school yet, it means that they are not 100% sure that your kid is the best option they can find. And so I usually show some sort of graph that looks like this, right? And then I usually say maybe you're like 20% of the way through there, right? And you need to move interest closer to a scholarship offer, right? And the reality is, in order to do that, it's a couple things. One is exactly what Cade mentioned. He's right on the money there. The other thing to mention about this is you want to share multiple types of evidence multiple times for a long period of time. Okay. Vary the types of evidence. So video, stats, awards, academic stuff, coach recommendations, those are all examples of evidence. In-person evaluation would be evidence. You want to showcase all of those, not just one type. You want to showcase them multiple times. So it's not, okay, great, they saw my video, now we'll move to stats. It's like, nope, multiple videos, multiple stats, multiple awards, right, all the way through, and then for a long period of time, right? Probably not going to happen in the next week. It's going to take a bit, and that's okay. So if you do both of those things, what Cade mentioned, as well as what I just mentioned, that is how you're going to move that toward an offer. But I've mentioned this before, the number one skill to learn for college recruiting in 2026, the number one skill, being able to turn generic interest into an offer. And generic interest is strong, like they've expressed personal interest in you, but you're not at the point where you need an offer yet. This is where the game actually begins. For a lot of families, game doesn't really begin until you get interest. That's when it really gets difficult. Can you speak to basketball recruiting in general? I don't know what I don't know. Okay. Basketball recruiting in general. Cade, what are some things when you think of basketball recruiting?
My immediate thought goes to multi-platform. And so more specifically, email and Twitter. I mean, those are really, really important, but also having, I mean, this is the case for a lot of things, but you just mentioned having multiple skills that you can showcase in evidence. And so having something like that, because there are so many skills with basketball. There's dribbling, there's defense, there's shooting, there's all these different skills that you need to have. So, I mean, basically email, social media, Twitter more specifically, Instagram. I mean, I'm sure there is, but it's going to be mostly on Twitter, and then having a lot of evidence that you're a good player.
Yeah. So basketball, if your kid is undersized, it's going to take longer. Yeah. It's just going to. They're going to look at all the kids who have more size first. It's not that you can't get recruited if you're undersized. You're just going to be one of the last ones to get recruited because it is a size sport. Yeah. It is a size sport, period. So highly recommend I mean, everything that Kate said is right on, but just keep that in mind. The expectations is critical because if you don't have those expectations going in, you might get discouraged. You could still get recruited if you're undersized. I don't know if your kid's undersized or not, but when I think of basketball, I think of size. It's important. Twitter is going to be a really big deal for you guys. Posting content is going to be a really big deal for you guys. And basketball is one of those sports. It's just heavily impacted by the portal. You have smaller rosters, more money. It's just heavily impacted by the portal. So if your kid is going to go D1 for basketball, boy, they better be good.
Yeah.
Boy, they better be good. Otherwise, they're going to a lower level school.
Men's
Nearly
and
every-
women's.
What do you say?
Men's and women's.
Men's and women's. That's true for women's too. Yeah. Women's. Susan was on this morning. She had some great updates.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, men's and women's. It's highly, 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 highly critical. When negotiating offers for D2, do you verbally tell the coach what other college offers or show them proof of other offers? Softball for my question above. Thanks. Yeah. So if you're trying to negotiate offers, you can quite literally say, hey, coach, so this other school is giving me 70%, 80%, whatever it is. How close to that can you get? Right? How close to that can you get? So you can literally say the percentage. You can say the amount of money. You can say, hey, it would only cost me $5,000 to go to this other school, coach. Like, is there anything we can do about that? Right? So you can straight up say what a coach is offering you, 100%. Now, there's a lot of nuance to that. Anytime you talk about negotiating scholarship offers, there's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of ways that can go wrong. So you got to be careful. But yeah, totally fine to mention. I mean, guys, it depends on the school and it depends on a lot of different factors. But man, like there are situations where we say the exact school name, where we say the conferences. There are school times when we say the exact scholarship percentage, exact scholarship amount, exact deadlines that a kid is given of when they have to make a decision by. Like we will share all of that if it's the right time. And then there are other times where we're very vague, where we're like, yeah, I'm talking to schools, a number of schools. Okay. Like which schools? Oh, like Northeast schools. Okay. Like which schools? I'm not comfortable sharing that at this time. Like there are times when we literally won't say. But yeah, if you're toward the end of the process, 100%, you can share the exact numbers.
Yeah.
Daughter was approached by Missouri. Scout is not eligible for an actual offer until she's a senior. For flag football, what is the best route to go and what should I start doing now? Okay, I'm going to pick on you a little bit, which is like, I think we've talked about this, right? I love seeing you in here. You're here all the time. It's great to see you. But we've talked about this, right? What you should be doing now is continuing to get as much evidence as possible and as many schools to get to that point. Like you want as many schools as possible to get an offer. So if you get an offer from one school, it's not, yay, hopefully other ones come. It's actively generating more offers after that. And so it should be getting as much video as you possibly can because it's flag football, getting as much video as you can. You should be posting on social media. You should be emailing coaches. Like you should be doing all the things that we normally talk about in terms of exposure. And then you should be building relationships with coaches, following up with them for long periods of time, varying the types of evidence that you're sending, right? All of those things apply here. But highly recommend you get, if you're like, oh yeah, we're probably going to get one offer from one school or something like that, then we gotta get more. Like we got to go get more. That's all critical. Actually, I was talking to somebody about that this morning. Tyler G was on this morning, which is great because he said they got an offer that they're very close to saying yes to.
Nice.
And then he said that there's 40 other schools that are interested. So, but they're trying to figure out, do we say yes to this school or do we engage with the other 40? Like what should we do there? Right. And one of the things I was telling him was, listen, you want a lot of offers, not so that you can brag to people about how many offers you have. You want a lot of offers because you want the best opportunity to say that you got the best choice. If you have one offer and you have to go there, it may or may not be a great fit for your kid. If you have 5 offers, then you have a much better chance of picking the school that's going to be a great fit for your kid. Great fit academically, great fit coaching staff, athletically, etc. Yes.
That's really cool for them.
Yeah, it's a banger. It's great. There were a few of those on office hours this morning. It was awesome. But the point rings true. Like, you want as many offers as you possibly can. You are still relatively early in the process. You need a ton of video. You need a ton of exposure. And I would not assume that it's just going to be a slam dunk. Like, there's a family that I'm thinking of. They had like 15 D1 offers, and they thought, oh, those offers are just going to always be there. And so they waited on it, you know? And then guess what happened? When it came time and they're like, they didn't get anything else besides those 15, nothing more came in. They're like, all right, we'll go accept one of these offers. Couldn't. It was gone. Offer got pulled months ago. And they had no idea. The coach didn't message them and
They won't even tell you. Yeah. For
Yeah, they
sure.
won't tell you. They're just going to go get somebody else. And then you'll say, oh, I'd like to commit now. And they'll be like, sorry, we got somebody else a couple months ago. And then that family is now scrambling at the last minute, which should never happen. They had 15 D1 offers. You should never be scrambling when that's the case. But this happens over and over and over again.
All the time.
Yeah. Just because you have an offer today doesn't mean that you're going to have an offer tomorrow. And actually, that goes for anything in recruiting. Just because the coach wants to get on the phone with you today doesn't mean they'll want to get on the phone with you tomorrow. So if they want to get on the phone, you get on the phone as soon as possible. Same thing with a visit, same thing with an offer. Just because you have one today doesn't mean you're going to have one tomorrow.
Yep. I like that.
Yeah. I'm new to all this. Oldest sophomore, plays varsity quarterback, planning to take it serious. Yeah. Like, you're still early, right? So that's where evidence, exposure, you got plenty of time. Lay the groundwork now. Rafi, good to see you, sir. 27 baseball, most discussions he's having with schools that have not seen him play, mainly just from video metrics. Once these discussions move to text, phone calls, and if some have not moved forward quickly, is it okay to send email updates again with video or just stay with text message updates? So you're saying once the discussions move to text and phone call, if they haven't moved forward quickly, which, by the way, Rafi, the majority probably won't. Even once you start texting and having phone calls, you might get a couple that move quickly, but a large majority will probably not. And that's okay. Doesn't mean you're not going to get offers from them. If some of them have not moved forward quickly, is it okay to send email updates again with video or just stay with text message updates? So there's a couple things on this, okay? Typically, when you move up in communication, so you go from an email or DM to a phone call or a text, you often, not always, often don't want to regress. So you often don't want to go back to sending emails or something like that because you've moved to a more personal level of communication that less people have access to, right? But the reality is that, especially if you're going to, and Rafi, you probably don't know like exactly how we do this, but if you send the amount of updates and follow-ups that we send, doing that via text would be invasive, is what I will call it. And via email or DM, completely fine. Yeah. Via text, it's a little much. So in that case, we will actually use both. We'll text updates every once in a while, and then we'll also use email or Twitter, wherever that conversation is, so we don't overwhelm the coach. So the answer is both. It'll be a combination of both. But you don't want to completely regress from texting to email because then it might be really hard for you to get back to texting. So you want to keep that channel live and fresh so that you can continue to have an advantage over other players that they're recruiting. Always appreciate the information. You guys are awesome. Thank you again. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. It's always great to see you in here. Always great to see you in here. Emma, great to see you. Top School replied to me, said that they don't offer athletic scholarships. I replied and said, still interested, and asked if they offer academic scholarships. Anything else to say? Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have responded like that. Mostly because I know that they do offer academic scholarships. Basically, every school does. Is there anything else to say? Don't offer athletic scholarships. I would continue to get recruited by them because a lot of schools that don't offer athletic scholarships are familiar with this process, right? They understand that they can't do that. So they have other ways of getting you scholarship money, whether that's academic scholarships. Some of them get creative through like meal plans and books. And like even NIL can be a thing where they get creative with the money. So I would continue to engage with the school, even if they say they don't offer athletic scholarships. It does not mean that they can't give you money. right? I mean, and actually, some of our biggest scholarships have been from schools that don't offer athletic scholarships. You know,
Yep.
I've had 150 grand, 170 grand, even 200 grand plus.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of as well.
But here's the thing. The thing is that it's not like a one-off. And this is what I didn't understand. Like way back when we first started helping people, like I didn't know this. I didn't realize there was that much money outside of athletics. I just thought it was athletic scholarship or bust. I knew academics was a thing, but not like this.
Yeah.
And now it's like player after player after player after player after player getting enormous academic money from schools that can't offer athletic scholarships.
Yeah.
And so anything else to say? I would just continue that recruiting process with them. In terms of like what to say, they can't offer academic money. They can. But I don't, in terms of like what else, I don't know what else you would say. You just need to continue building the relationship with that school. I'm not sure if they've expressed interest, if they've said anything. I'm not sure. Daughter has a full ride on the table, going to a showcase in a few weeks, hoping to get a few more offers. She's a junior now, 27 class. How long should we wait until locking it in? There's not a black and white answer to this.
Yeah.
Depends on a lot of factors. Cade, what are some of the factors that it depends on?
If they gave you a timeline, that's a really important one. Some of the other players that they're looking at, if you're talking to a bunch of schools and you don't know if you're going to be committed for a couple months, but they have another player like on the board right behind you that is willing, if they were to offer them, they're going to commit right away. It's a safer option. So that's one that just is a glaring at me.
That's super critical. So what Cade is saying is, let's say your daughter is their number one choice. Okay. The second choice that's on the board, if they view that athlete as close in talent to your daughter, and that athlete they think would commit right away, they're probably not going to wait that long for you, right? Because the talent is very similar, and then they could get a lock on that commit. Easy, right? Now, if your daughter's the number one option and the number two option they view as well below your daughter, then they're much more likely to give your daughter a lot more time, right? And so there's not a specific amount of time. It's not like, well, you really need to make a decision in 2 weeks, or, hey, you can wait 3 months and you'll be okay. There's not a designated black and white amount of time. It has to do with how much they love your daughter. It has to do with other recruits and how much they love other recruits. It has to do with the number of schools you're talking to, the number of offers that you might get. Are those really far off, or are you pretty close to those? Like those are very different things, right? And so all of those change how quickly. Now, if I had some more context, I might tell you, listen, this should probably be in the next couple of weeks. Or I might say like, hey, you can sit on this for a bit. Like a family this morning that I was talking to, like I told them, I was like, you could probably sit on this for a little bit, right? Like you could probably sit on it. Other times I've told family, I'm like, don't wait on this. Yeah. In general, you shouldn't wait unless it's like a school that's not at the top of your list. If you get an offer from a school you like, freaking take it. That's why you do all the work anyway. You know, you being like, well, it's a 9 out of 10 school for me. I really want a 10 out of 10 school. Okay. Then you're probably going to lose the 9 out of 10 school for being greedy. Like, don't do that. And so again, there's not a black and white answer. It depends on what else is happening. So we would need some more information to give you a good answer. Is it easier to get recruited in the Northeast compared to the South for D1 baseball? Currently living in the Northeast. No, it's probably easier to get recruited in the South for D1. I guess it depends, but like Southern baseball is typically considered better than Northeast baseball, which means you're playing against better competition. There's a lot of bigger teams, bigger tournaments and stuff. A lot of like the exposure will come a little bit easier in the South than the Northeast. So I'd say it's probably easier to get recruited in the South, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter. You can still get recruited to D1s in the Northeast. We had kids in Alaska get recruited by D1s, Hawaii, like it doesn't matter.
Hawaii.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Dude, those are crazy. Like that to me is wild.
Yeah.
I remember when the Alaska family, I was like, it was really the only time in like, since we started D1, it was the only time in years where I was like, I hope that makes this happen. And to be fair, I was very clear with the family about that. I was very upfront with them. But they took the chance and it freaking worked out. He was talking like 30 schools and it was great. But that was like the only time. Everything else I'm very confident in. But now it's like, oh, apparently kids can get recruited from Alaska. No big deal. You know? No big deal. Boy went down to SoCal. This is Rafi again. SoCal D1 on a visit a couple weeks ago on his own. Didn't get an offer. Coach told him they will most likely offer in March, but want to see him play in a game. Told him all, about to yawn. Told him all their offers have deadlines. Less than a week. We have heard from another 26 commit. Didn't ask. He made it clear. Is there a question there, Rafi? Might be adding more right now, actually. I'll wait for a question there.
It only lets you put so much in.
What is that? Yeah.
It only allows you to put so much text in there.
Yeah, it gets cut off. Does a follow from the program mean anything? So we talked about this quite a bit last night at the social media workshop, which I will not put on the screen anymore since it's no longer a thing. I was about to do it. I was about to move on. I can't do that anymore. A follow does mean something. Coaches are not going around following players that they don't think are any good, but it's also not the same as getting an email or a DM response, which is not the same as a phone call or a text message, which is not the same as a visit, which is not the same as an offer, right? And so point is, boy, what's happening right now? Every time I've yawned. What's going on? Come on. Energy. Bizarre.
Social media workshop. That thing wore you out.
Apparently, that's what I went for too long. I went for 2.5 hours. By the way, this right now, this is me on low energy. Think about that. This is me on right now. So anyway, the point is that not all communication is the same. You want to move coaches into elevated levels of communication. A follow is the lowest level of communication and interest, but it's not nothing. It means something. Coaches aren't going around following kids that they think suck. They're just not doing that. Yeah. So if they follow you, it means they saw something that they liked.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like if somebody, an average person is going to scroll, if they see a video that they hate or that's not funny at all, you're not going to follow the account, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, it's just like a coach. They're not, if they watch a video, they don't like the skill set, they don't like how you play, they're not going to follow you.
Yeah, but it's also a mistake to think that just because they're following you, that they're now going to track you.
Exactly.
No, probably not. Right? You need to help them do that. Why would a D1 softball coach offer my daughter a spot on the team, but not offer an athletic scholarship? Kate, you got that?
Is it just like a walk-on spot?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
For a body?
But she's saying no athletic scholarship, so technically that could mean they gave her like academic money, right? So it might not be like a no money situation. It might just be an academic money situation, I think is what she's saying. So one, let's be real. It could be because they just don't think she's good enough to deserve that, right? Like they've given their scholarship money away to other players. And so they just don't have any left, right? And that's why. Maybe it is that they think that she's good enough, but they've already given the scholarship money away. It could be both. Like it could be one of those, right? So that could all be a reason. But what you're saying is not super uncommon. It just depends on the player. Depends on how many scholarships they've already given out, how old the kid is, all those types of things. It's also common, by the way, for kids to get more athletic money the deeper they get into their collegiate career.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well.
Yeah. So explain that, Cade.
So let's just say they like her. They want her around the program next year, but they don't see her ahead of the commits that they maybe already have. But they do see some potential. And so maybe if somebody graduates and she gets older, she practices with the team, she has a relationship with the whole team, maybe then you're giving up some scholarship money instead.
Yeah, it's common for someone to get even if you get athletic scholarship money your first year, it's common to get more, right? So it's like you get 50% your first year, and then second year 60, and then 80, and right, like that's a normal thing to have happen.
Yeah.
She says maybe they are trying to up their enrollment at this college. Unlikely, just because they only have so many spots on the team. So unlikely that's what they're going to use it for. It would have to be a school that has a really hard time getting people, to come to their school. Like it would have to be that kind of thing. So I doubt that. Thank you guys. You're welcome. Thanks for being here, Rob. For D1 volleyball recruiting, what's the difference between official visit and invite to a prospect camp? Okay.
Official visit, they're gonna invite you out. You're gonna meet the whole the coaching staff, likely, maybe even the team. They're gonna show you everything. That's really good. A prospect camp, they want to come. Well, it could be a generic thing where they send a prospect camp invite to everybody. But if it is a coach that you've been talking to, maybe they just want to see you play again. It could be just before the official visit invite potentially.
Yeah. Official visit. So you're skipping one in between, right? Which would be not you, but like the person asking the question. Official visit and prospect camp invite. Somewhere in the middle there is an unofficial visit, right? So official visit, they pay for it. Unofficial visit, you pay for it. Prospect camp, they're watching you play. They want to evaluate you. So there's different reasons for those. When you bring a kid on a visit, it's typically less about evaluation and it's typically more about a sales pitch. They're trying to get you excited about the school. They want you to come to the school. For a prospect camp, that's different. They are trying to evaluate you. They haven't decided yet that they're going to give you an offer. Yeah. Sometimes schools will pair like a prospect camp with an unofficial visit. Very rare for them to pair a prospect camp with an official visit. Like that's just usually not a thing. At that point, by the time you get the official visit, they already know that they like you and they want to give you an offer. So very rare, but you'll see unofficial visits get paired with prospect camps. But big difference there, right? So you have prospect camp evaluation, unofficial visit is more for you, but you pay. And then official visit is more for you, but they pay.
Yep.
But they pay. How often should I DM the program? If you're already in communication with them, multiple times a month, right? Once a week, go for it, right? If you're not in communication with them, we typically send 3 and then we'll switch it up after that and take a different route. But yeah, multiple times a month. Yes, just academic. Yeah. And so like they might not have any more scholarship money, athletic scholarship money to give. There's a lot of reasons that maybe they think other players are just more worthy of the athletic money. Maybe they think she's worthy of athletic money, but they've already given it away. It could be any of those. Realistically, when should I start looking to get into coaches' email inboxes as a foreign player? I like the way that's phrased. When should I start looking to get into those inboxes? I like that. As a 2029 is what it says. Yeah. As a 2029, then not yet. I would say you can, but it's flexing the muscle, right? We talk about this a lot. Flexing the muscle freshman year, sending some emails, making some videos, posting some on social media. Sophomore year, building the foundation, really starting to do more of that. And then junior year, ramping up and doing as much as you possibly can.
Exactly.
College is $69,000, so not affordable. Yeah. Get that. So in that case, you can just tell them like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to come here unless I have more money. Also, if it's a D3 school, which common, D3 school, smaller schools tend to be more expensive, like $69,000 there, and then not able to give athletic money, they might not be able to. If it's a D3 school, they didn't give you an athletic scholarship because they can't. D3 schools can't give athletic money. So that could also be a reason. But there could be a number of those.
I thought in the initial question they said it was a D1 school.
Did they?
I think so.
Oh. Yeah, D1 softball. You're not wrong. They did say D1. Then yeah. Then it's probably
all the other ones other than that one.
They've already given money, all the money that they have. Maybe she's just not high on their list. Could be a number of things. Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Cade, any last words for the people?
Happy hump day.
Happy
See you guys
hump.
tomorrow.
Happy Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow. Cade will be back tomorrow. 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll do this again tomorrow. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Wonderful, week, but we'll see you tomorrow. So rock and roll. Have a wonderful hump day, guys. See ya.